Look, you can't say it any other way, that it's my teacher or not. If I am next to him in the lessons, morning and night, if I, between the lessons, go with him for his strolls, or to the beach, or to the park, the garden, or we would travel once a week, or at least once every other week, to Tiberias, or to some other place where we went alone, me and him, in one apartment. And I prepare food, and we eat, and I arrange his things, and we're living together that way. When he entered the hospitals several times for prolonged stays, that really brought us close, because I was beside him. The first time, I had to go into the hospital with him after 6 months. I arrived February, and at Matan Torah, meaning after about 5 months, they discovered that he has to go into the hospital and to get there an IV drip, a very strong antibiotic drip, because they thought that he had cancer in his ear. That's what the Russian doctor there told me, kind of secretly. He didn't know about that, and no one knew about that. And so they had to give him very strong medications, and he was half asleep. And I was beside him that whole time. That was 30 days straight, 30 days. And when we came out of there, I felt that I am so adhered to him that I couldn't separate already. I couldn't be apart. And then we started day after day to go to the sea, to the beach, or to the forest to do exercises, so that he will come out of this after this these anesthetics, for him to wake up more and be more alert. And this is how you get accustomed to a person. I'm talking about myself. He also felt himself, because he was a pretty old person, getting accustomed to the fact that someone who's younger than him is taking care of him, and has got more speed in him, because he received such medicines that he was half asleep all the time. What else? And we learned many hours. He had to learn, otherwise he would sleep. So he would obligate me to read. So I would sit next to him and read, or sit next to him and ask. And sometimes ask not so that because I wanted to ask, but in order to awaken him, so that he won't enter too much into that dormancy, into that sleep. And this is how we went through a whole month. And during this whole month, almost no people came whatsoever. He didn't want to hear, to see, to accept people. Once, for one day, Miller replaced me, my friend, a real good friend from Bnei Baruch. And he told me later, I slept the whole time. I don't know how you can be there day and night. When I was there the day, from morning to night, I just wanted to sleep. I didn't necessarily feel it that way. No. And after we came out of the hospital, it made a very strong bond between us. It worked that way that I already learned him, saw his habits. Nevertheless, when you're next to a person day and night, you care for him. This is something that brings people closer. And when I asked him later, did I receive something? He said that all that you received mostly, you received from that period that we were together at the hospital. That's it. Later, during the years, I was close to him. I would go to the store to buy food for him. Sometimes we'd go to the market once a week to also buy all kinds of ingredients, fruit. Well, I was next to him for a long time. I could allow myself to do so because before that I had a clinic in Rehovot, and I came out of there with a lot of money. And I could barely work for a certain period of time. That's it. But with that, the way I was connected to him, I wasn't too connected to friends. I didn't have too much of a bond with friends because it seems to me that he also tried in such a way to do it so as well, so that I would be more adhered to him. That's why you can't say that I had a society. I learned, I heard, I knew these articles about the society that he wrote. So he gave me first to read it, and then I went to make copies of these articles. He wrote them, he wrote them, and I went to photocopy them and print them out. First I gave them out to the women group. On Tuesdays they would gather for them to read it. Our women, our wives. And then on Thursdays we received these articles and studied them in the gathering of friends on Thursdays. Yes. To be adhered to someone, you can't with such a person because you don't know who he is. Do you understand? It's to be adhered to a great person is that you're going to serve him. Meaning what he needs bodily, corporeally, that seems to you that you understand with your corporeal intellect what he needs, then you do that. And that's considered to serve him. And then it's written in all the books about that later. In the Kabbalah books, it's written in such a way. And by you coming closer to him as much as you're capable in a corporeal way, then you start to penetrate somewhat into the inner spiritual world. Why does he think this way? Why does he decide this way? And all the things that seem to you first as strange, not so normal, unusual, like regular people do, you start to accept them even though you don't understand, and later, during a long time, you start to understand why it is so. Usually, when you acquire faith above reason, then you start to decipher your teacher correctly and understand that what appears to you as him being crude, rude, strange, that he's special in some way. Those things stem not from his corporeal nature, but from his connection with spirituality. That's how it is.